Hey everybody, welcome back to Music Teacher Reacts, where today I'm going to be counting down my top 5 Eurovision winners from 2000 to 2019. Let's do this. So you're probably here because you like Eurovision or you like hearing other people's opinions, or maybe you just want some validation to see if other people think the same as you. So between 2000 and now, there have been 20 performances. If you're not sure which ones are part of the winners, I've listed it in the description. Regarding winners, today we're not going to speak about the political nature of the competition. And I do need to emphasize that everything presented here is my opinion and my opinion only. And of course, this being a top 5, there will be no negative comments from me, just praise. All right, we're going to start at my number 5. My number 5 was the 2010 winner for Germany, Satellite by Lena. Now, this piece of music is an interesting piece of music. It is upbeat, it is fun, it utilizes percussion in an interesting way. It has a very heavy backbeat on beats 2 and 4. There's this melodic theme which recurs throughout the whole piece of music. At times, it does start off at the beginning. I found that melodic theme incredibly interesting as it keeps recurring, and it gives this notion of revolving. So it's this age-old thing that composers do, but it's effective, linking the music to the lyrics in some way. It's pretty much word painting, essentially. The way that she commanded the stage was great. The staging was somewhat basic and somewhat simple, as with the lighting, but it was effective. And finally, the lyrics. The lyrics in this were great. It wasn't a love song. Well, in the traditional sense, it wasn't love or the picture perfect perspective of love. It was more about obsession, and that was something interesting to hear and to look at. Overall, this was a very worthy winner. It's radio friendly, but it worked really, really well on stage. My number 4. Number 4 is the winner for 2017, Portugal, Salvador Sobral with Ama pelos dois. This is nothing short of a beautiful piece of music. There is a reason why it was the highest scoring winner of all time of Eurovision. And that reason is not because of the new voting system, because it was shown that under the old voting system, he still would have been the highest. It was a ballad, yes, but it was a different kind of ballad. It had a waltz feel. But it wasn't the kind of power ballad that we expect in Eurovision. It was intimate. And that intimacy was shown with the staging, and you can't pull off a staging with a big stage for this. It was appropriate. It was a small space. It was just him and the music. I say that because it wasn't him and the audience. It was meant to be that intimacy with the audience, but it was just him and the music. That was shown through his actions, what he was portraying, the expression that he was showing visually, vocally. He's got a superb vocal ability, vocal slides, melismas at appropriate time, beautiful vocal tone to his voice. But above all, and I said it at the beginning and I'm going to say it again, this piece of music is amazing. It's simple, but it's effective. I do understand that there are people out there that don't like this, and like with everything, there are people who don't like things. But there is a reason why this won, and I could not do this top 5 without it being in there. My number 3 is the winner for 2007, Marija Šerifović with Molitva. I put this down to it being an amazing piece of music. The performance was good. It wasn't mind-blowing. It was beautiful. But for me, this piece of music really won me over. I've heard it a lot as a studio version. I've seen it quite a few times as the live version, and they're not too different. She's of course got an amazing vocal ability. The staging was okay. And again, we can't compare staging from 2007 to say 2017 because there's a lot of change technology-wise from there. However, as I said, this piece of music itself is brilliant. What I love most about it is how it builds from just a very soft piano and vocals to an orchestral piece of music with drums. Now, I do want to talk about key changes. I do mention them quite often in my videos, but I mention them because as a Eurovision staple, there are key changes in a lot of songs. And let me tell you that many songs don't get them right. Pop songs especially. don't do very well with them. However, this song had 2 key changes. There was one at the end that was the one where she held that note and belted that note out. That's the one that everybody really would recognize as the key change. But there was a beautiful, sensitive key change in the middle. And that was after the first chorus. And that has got to be one of my most favorite key changes of all time in general. It's not just because of the key change, it was the way that it was executed. And for me, that's what really made this performance and took it to another notch. And that's why I mentioned that it's the composition which really made this work. Obviously, her vocals were amazing. She had finished the first chorus, and then it goes down to this beautiful, soft melody by a recorder or woodwind instrument in a different key, in a melody which we hadn't really heard before. It was taking it to a different level. And I think staging-wise, she executed that bit pretty well. She turned around and walked away from the front of the stage. But for me, that was the point, the goosebumps feeling point, really. And when we listen to a piece of music, we're looking for that. And that song definitely delivered. And for me, putting it as a number 3 over something like Amar Pelos Dois at number 4 is because of the composition. It really, really just pushed it to another level for me. All right, we're getting to the big guns now, number 2. My number 2 is the winner for 2012 Sweden, Loreen, Euphoria. What an amazing performance. I know this is most people's favorites, and it has been mine for a really long time in general. However, between this and my number 1, it was not. There was so little in between, and I'll explain it very soon. This is incredible. From beginning to end. The second that it opens with that lighting, with that really low synthesized kind of horn sound, and then it goes into this soft vocal melody with this soft synth accompaniment, it works incredibly well. The staging was amazing. And again, the way that she commanded the stage from beginning to end almost by herself the whole time. And what a voice to be able to move that much on stage, not get puffed out and still hit those notes. Again, when we look at key changes, there is a key change in here, but it's not the same kind of key change. It's a modulation from the verse to the chorus. So the chorus is actually in a different key than the verse. And that's again what really lifts this up. Of course, the verse is in a minor key and the chorus is in a major key, but they are different keys, B minor and A major. What I really love about this, of course, is the song itself. It's fun, it's upbeat, but it evolves. It evolves musically, but it evolves on stage. There's a story being told through the dancing, through the singing, of course, and through the staging. Of course, there's another character later on, a male dancer, but that detracts a little bit from it, but I think it was just right. The snowing at the end, the lighting, this had it all. And this may as well be my number 1, let's just put it that way, but I had to edge something a little bit ahead just instead. And finally, for my favorite Eurovision winner from 2000 to 2019, and it goes to the winner for 2016, Ukraine's Jamala 1944. Now, as I said before, this was pretty much neck and neck for me with Loreen, but I needed to edge this forward for a reason. I feel like this had such a big impact. Vocally, she was amazing. Vocally, Loreen was amazing. And let's acknowledge that Jamala wasn't doing the stuff on stage that Loreen was doing. But firstly, the composition. The composition is fascinating. It is this kind of hybrid R&B, traditional Tataran composition. It obviously had that contemporary R&B feel, but then that chorus which had that Tataran language, which was very interesting to listen to. Vocally, Jamala is exceptional, and you can't fault her in this, but what she was like on stage. Yes, she was acting, maybe she was really immersed in the music. Whether she was acting or not, she was convincing. What you could see in her eyes as she was singing, especially at the beginning, in the first verse, the song built up from very soft to a much louder piece of music, and that beautiful melisma at the end before the final chorus, where she's hitting notes which people don't usually hit because they're actually in between the Western tempered pitch that we have, which is stuff that we're not used to listening to. But that build to the final chorus, the staging, the lighting, that tree, it really, really did it for me. It was incredible. And then just when you thought it was all over, she hits this insane high note out of nowhere, perfectly pitched. This is a performance that I can't fault, and that I think is one of the best performances and songs, in my opinion, of Eurovision of all time. And I know this caused controversy, and I did mention we're not going to talk about the political stuff, and we're still not going to, but I encourage people to look past that and really look into this song and see it for what it is. So what were your top 5 from 2000 to 2019? Leave a comment below with some explanations as well. Until next time.